Hey guys, today is day 73 of my paper chain countdown to Stranger Things Season 5. Today's October 5th, and we have 53 days left until Volume 1 comes out. Today will definitely be a long one because we are talking about the entirety of the battle at Starcourt Mall. Will's Spidey senses tingle, and Max looks up at the ceiling of the mall just in time to see the Meat Flayer crash down through the windows. The party splits in two and starts hiding from the Meat Flayer. And right as it's about to find Max, Mike, and Elle inside the gap, Lucas used his wrist rocket to distract it so they could all run in different directions. When the larger party finally makes it outside with the ignition cable to try to leave the mall, they see Billy in the parking lot. He's in his vehicle and he's revving it up, and while everybody's trying to pile into the car, Nancy pulls out her weapon and she starts discharging it towards him, and he's driving straight at them, but specifically straight at Nancy, like he's about to hit her with his vehicle. But at the last second, luckily, Steve comes in with the Toddfather and hits Billy's car, knocking him out of Nancy's direction and stopping him from being able to come at them with the car anymore. They all pile into the now working vehicle and they start driving away from the mall, but you can see in the background behind them that the Meat Flayer is literally running down the street chasing them. And while everyone's in these crazy predicaments, we get an agonizing commercial break of Dustin and Suzie singing Neverending Story. Now, I'm not saying it's bad, it's always interesting to watch, but all of the characters in that moment are in such a crazy situation to be having to listen to them singing this whole song for like several minutes over the radio so that she'll give Dustin Planck's constant and be able to, for Joyce and Hopper to get the keys to be able to destroy the machine. So it is important, but it's definitely just tonally very interesting and always a little funny and like kind of silly for them to be singing like that in such dire circumstances. We then get back to the action when we see Max, Mike, and Elle just starting to exit the mall, but then Billy is getting out of his wrecked vehicle and he spots them. So they turn and run back into the mall, but it's too late. He's already seen them. So he chases them down, he knocks out the two of them so he can take Elle to feed her to the Meat Flayer, and she can't stop him because her powers are not working anymore. Hopper and Joyce finally get to the control room for the machine, and right when they get there, the Temu Terminator shows up, so Hopper has to start fighting him, and they end up fighting right next to this machine. After Billy had gotten a hold of Elle, we see that the Meat Flayer stops chasing the group that had left the mall, and when they see that it had turned around and gone back to the mall, knowing that their friends were still there, they actually turned around and went back to the mall so that they could use Lucas's fireworks that he had grabbed earlier to be able to distract it and help their friends. The fireworks that they're throwing at the Meat Flayer actually end up hurting Billy too because he's part of the hive mind, so he gets enraged. He starts dragging Elle even closer to the Meat Flayer so that she can be consumed, her and her power, and she realizes she has to act. She starts talking about the surfing memory that she saw when she was in Billy's mind earlier in the season and describing his mother, talking about how happy they both were, saying how beautiful she was, and this seems to break the mind control that the Mind Flayer had over Billy. Max and Mike finally wake up from when Billy knocked them out, and they run back to the center courtyard. And Billy sacrificed himself to stand up to the Meat Flayer and stop it from killing Elle. He used his hands to stop the first tentacle that comes out to try to kill her, and then after that it starts picking him up, like all these different ones come and pick him up by his body, and then unfortunately they do impale him in the chest. At the same time that Billy is standing up to the Meat Flayer, Hopper finally takes down the Temu Terminator, and then they get the signal from Dustin that it's time to destroy the machine. And Hopper is right next to the machine at this time. There's no time for him to get away. And so he nods to Joyce up at the control center through the glass and tells her to do it. And while she doesn't want to and she's very sad about it, she does do it because she knows how important it is. It's literally life or death of the whole world to stop this thing now. So she does it, and when she looks after it's been exploded, Hopper's not there anymore. So she thinks he's been evaporated and she's very upset. After the machine explodes and the Meat Flayer is taken down, Billy is laying on the ground with his injuries and he's still conscious. He's not gone yet. He has a chance to speak with Max for a moment, and his last words are apologizing to her for everything he did. You can tell he has immense regret for what that thing forced him to do. He didn't want to hurt or kill those people. I mean, he was not a nice person before all this, but that does not mean that he wanted to hurt people like that, and you can tell he feels bad. But he does end up passing away from his injuries. It's very, very sad. And then finally, to wrap up this whole series of events, we see Dr. Owens in the military showing up literal moments before 12 children and 4 adults with no training, civilians, handled the threat that was happening. They showed up after it's already all over. They don't have to do any of the hard work. These kids got it with literally minimal supplies to like way less than the military would have access to. They stopped not only a Russian invasion, but they also stopped a multi-dimensional invasion. It's just so funny to me that they showed up literally right after they already took care of it. Like, yeah, guys, thanks for the help, but we got it. Just clean all this crap up. That whole sequence is amazing. I know that a lot of people try to say that season 3 is considered one of the lesser liked seasons, but I love that whole thing. That whole season, it's phenomenal. It's funny. It's action-packed. It's also the goriest so far of the first 3, right? So yeah, I love it. Let me know what you think of the battle at Starcourt Mall down below. All right, guys. See you tomorrow for the next one.